All right, let's get in our next guest, who's now part of the National League. So he could be in a battle with this team if they don't win the division. Paul Sewald joining us from the Arizona Diamondbacks. We kind of bumped up your appearance with us, coming off all of the news. Paul, good to see you and the smile. So hey, welcome to the National League wild card race. How has your last 72 hours been, dude?
Wild. It's been a lot. It's been a little bit of a whirlwind. We're trying to get everything ready. My wife and daughter got everything packed up in Seattle. They're headed home, and they'll meet me in Arizona. It's been a crazy couple of days, that's for sure.
So, how surprised were you? Because we had you on days before, and I thought you were more convinced you were going to get traded than we were. Because we're like, you got another year of control. If this team does think they're going to compete, like you're a high leverage reliever for the Mariners who have relied on their bullpen. Did you have an inkling that you were going to get moved? Were there any combos, or it just kind of happened?
Yeah, I mean, it's not my first trade deadline. I guess I kind of saw how things were working out, and the Mariners needed a lot of offense, and you can trade relievers at this time for a lot more than you can during normal times, and I just kind of thought it was a possibility, and but it did come as a little bit of a surprise once we won the two games here, or we won two out of three here in Minnesota. Then we went to Arizona, won two out of three. I kind of felt like we were right there, and maybe I wasn't going to get traded. So it did come out as a little bit of a surprise in the moment. Maybe not necessarily the last couple of weeks. I kind of thought it was a possibility, but I'm excited. I'm excited to be in Arizona and excited to be a part of the National League race now.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. I signed in Arizona in 19, and they still have the same guys with Hazen, Derek Hall, obviously Torey Lovello, the manager. How's your first couple of days, the first week actually been there? I mean, great group of guys, very transparent. I mean, I went there in 24 hours. It was more transparent than my 11 years over East. Uh, so, just how has it been the first, getting your feet wet in a new organization? Obviously, you're thrown right into the fire, but that's a real relaxed and real cool organization and player personnel.
No, you're exactly right. It's been great. I mean, they were so excited to have me, and it just, so that gave me a little bit of a confidence boost that like, hey, they were willing to give up major pieces for me. They're very excited to have me, and they want me to be a part of this organization for the next year and a half at the minimum. And that's really good to feel. And that's a really good feeling when you walk in and everyone's excited to have you, excited to introduce themselves, excited to have me. And so, yeah, Mike, Tori, they were ecstatic to call me and talk about it. And I just said, I'm gonna show up as quickly as I can and get to work.
Hey, Paul, do you think that this has any relatability to 2 years ago with the Mariners when Kendall Graveman was moved? Like, were your teammates texting you like, dude, no? Because my thing is, I really believed in Seattle, even despite these struggles. And I know the offense, wasn't doing what they thought they were going to do. And the Kelnick injury recently hurt too. But I think from a pitching standpoint, you saw that starting rotation had some real talent, and those guys were just getting going. And I always think the last 2 months of the season show starting pitching depth and pitching depth in general, and that's when some of the teams start to crumble. So I was like, I think the Mariners are going to start playing better. So I have a problem. I don't have a problem with the move they made in terms of bringing in position players because I'm like, they needed some help, some hitting. They've got two guys that are going to be on the big league club right away. But I'm like, trade some prospects for that so that you keep your high leverage relievers because like you got to win those close games. They're going to miss you. I'm telling you. I know you might not say it, but I'll say it.
I'm not burning any bridges here. I'm very thankful for everything Seattle gave me. But that, Jerry and Justin decided they had to make the moves to make their team better, and that was the most important thing. And they thought that they could replace me in the bullpen, and they have some great guys down there that hopefully get the job done for them. And then you can add some hitters as well, and you can kind of give the best of both worlds without giving up your prospects. They take care of those prospects. They really want them. That's controllability is an important factor. And yeah, I felt like maybe we could have improved our team a little bit without me getting moved, but that wasn't how they decided to go with it. And that's good for the Mariners. They're doing great, and I'll obviously be cheering for them forever and watching from afar. But now I have to worry about Diamondbacks baseball, and we're ready to go. We're excited for a series here in Minnesota.
So you get traded to a contender, obviously. That we knew that was going to happen if you did get dealt. If you close your eyes just from a location standpoint, and I was like, hey, dude, you got dealt. Don't look at the team yet. would you be excited that it's Arizona? You can explain the reasoning probably better than I can, but I'm assuming that when you told your fam at least where you're going, they were pretty excited given where you live and when this team has spring training.
Yeah, I mean, there couldn't have been any better. Couldn't have been a better situation here to get traded. It's closer to home. It's where my wife and I met. She went to ASU. My brother went to ASU. We have so many friends and family down there. We're desert people from Vegas, so it really is a special spot and a special place in my family's heart. So to get traded, it was a little bit of a shock, and then they told me Arizona, and then was like, all right, I can take at least a deep breath and know that this is somewhere I would love to be anyways. And so that would definitely made the whole transition a lot easier. Knowing the city, knowing that we're going to have people there to help take care of us. So yeah, couldn't have been any better when we found out where we were going for sure.
How do you to let people know? Obviously, people get traded. That happens. The player, obviously, you get on a first class flight, go to your new city, get on the field. Behind the scenes, our wives, our kids, our families, the ones who really the real glue. Take us into what your wife has to do in order to. Again, it's Arizona. It's a lot. It's a lot closer than going. You didn't go to Tampa, Miami, Boston, but give people a glimpse in what's the wife's responsibility behind the scenes, as she's the one who has to do it all by herself.
AJ, this is not your first trip. The wives do everything for us. The MVP, the real MVPs of the family. So, I get the news. I call her right away. I say, hey, we're moving to Arizona. I'm going to play catch, say bye to my teammates, and then I come home and try and pack my stuff. And I'm going to be in San Francisco tomorrow. And she took the whole thing in stride. Obviously, we get home. She's, ultra supportive and just says, we'll figure this out. And we will see you in Arizona in a couple of days. And I pack up my bag. I try and pack up all my stuff, and just to try and get some sleep before I head on the flight the next day. And she's been packing our house up in Seattle nonstop. Had my mother-in-law fly up so she could take care of our daughter while Molly just became a packing expert. At this point, she is a packing expert. She's she can do it. She can do it in a couple of days, and it's incredible. And so we got everything shipped. We got cars shipped. We got boxes shipped to Arizona, boxes shipped to Vegas. Yeah, just had a whirlwind 72 hours for her as well as she packed up our lives. And I'll see them in a couple of days, and I'm very thankful. It's the wives are the MVPs for sure. All I do is throw a baseball. They handle everything, and so I'm really thankful for her at this time. And she and my daughter Chloe are going to be everything for me when I get down to Phoenix. Everything will be a lot better when we're back together in Phoenix.
That's awesome.
What's going on, Paul? How you doing?
Lorenzo, good to see you, brother.
Likewise. Man, I can really see the excitement all over your face, but you getting traded to Arizona. So I can tell that's a destination that you're gonna enjoy, and it's closer to home, and that definitely makes everything easier. But now, do we need to get on the phone with the agent and say, hey, let's work out a long-term deal here. Let's get something done. Let's go, get it moving.
Lo, I'm just trying to get in one game before we get started on anything. I feel like these 3 games have lasted 3 months. I'm like, just get me in a game. I just want to help the team out. And everybody's making jokes. You get traded, and then I'm just hanging out. So let's get in one game, and then we can worry about contract extension stuff.
I hear you.
Paul, do you know anyone on the team? Did you know anyone coming in? Because this is a pretty young ball club.
Yeah, so Scott McGuff, his best friend Tyler Anderson, and I have played together forever in Vegas, and so Scotty was like we call him, a little bit of a Las Vegan. He stayed there for a couple off seasons, so I knew Scotty a little bit, but everybody else was new. It was, I knew 5 or 6 guys on San Francisco. That was pretty easy for me to just go to San Francisco and see everybody that I know there. But not a ton of my own teammates, but everybody's been welcoming, and these are great group of guys. Young guys, like you said, it kind of feels a little bit like what we had in Seattle the last couple of years, and we built something amazing there. And I'm hoping to be a part of something like that here.
When you get traded, is it weird meeting all new trainers? Obviously, coaches is different because you sub with the coaches, head nod the coaches. You know who the coaches are, but you got the trainers, the strength people now, whole new workouts, all new nutritional, different. Everybody has a different philosophy, and the Diamondbacks trainer is jacked, so he likes to work out.
No, that's been the hardest. Players are easy. Everyone that's a player has a jersey, so you can kind of like, all right, like, and we just played them last week, so it's kind of like, all right, I kind of know most of their hitters and got to see a little bit of their pitches. The players is easy. You're exactly right. It's staff members from communications to the training room to the weight room to travel secretary. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just figured out everybody's name in Seattle. Now I gotta start all over again here in Arizona. So I'm doing my best to try and get everybody on a namely basis. It's going to take a little bit, but everyone's been more than welcoming and easy with me with the names. So I appreciate it a lot.
Will you hit a dinner early on with somebody just to like, kind of break the ice and get things going? Like, do you have any plans like that? Does anybody reach out to you like, yo, what's up, dude? Like, want to pick your brain a little bit?
This group's been good. We've had a lot of good conversations. Just on the plane the other day was nice, and then a lot of these bullpen guys are really young. They're just kind of trying to ask a little bit of questions like, what have you seen? What did you see against San Francisco when we played them a couple of weeks ago? A lot of the hitters were saying, "Hey, you just had a meeting against us. Like, what did you, what were you looking for here? What was the Mariners' game plan against our offense? That sort of thing, which has been great. They just jumped right into like, hey, we want to get better here. Like, what do you have for me? And I really appreciate that. And yeah, I think we're gonna have to look at the schedule, try and get a little bit of a team dinner going, so then I can try and get to know somebody not on a baseball level, and try and get to know them a little bit better. So hopefully we'll make something like that happen soon.
I like that part though. Like Jonesy, did you ever have that or Locane where when you joined your new teams, that's smart for a hitter to come up to you and be like, yo, what's the game plan on me? Like, give me a fresh game plan on me, right? Because this is a team that you were just a part of. This isn't like somebody that's a teammate telling me, oh, a few years ago it was this. Because books change every 5 seconds, right?
Oh, for sure. Oh man, you got to ask questions. Anybody I got traded over, I'm like, hey, what do y'all think about me? What's going on? Other guys would tell me you swing really hard. You did this, and I'm like, it's information shared. Once you're on my team now, hey, it's about winning. It's not we battle against each other, but now, hey, I hated you yesterday. I love you right now, so let's go.
Agreed. I agree. I knew what my weaknesses were, so two seam slider. I was most likely walking back to the dugout, so he doesn't tell me much. But yeah, it's always fun to get a new perspective from another team and see what they're actually thinking and how they feel about you as a player when you're in the box. So it's always a lot of fun, hearing new info on yourself.
And seriously, I was there maybe 30 seconds, and Strami took me over to the video room and was like, so now that we have Jace Peterson, he said, this is what we had against you in Oakland. So we're going to try and fix that. So, I mean, I was there literally 5 minutes, and they already had something on me from a new teammate that I didn't have, 24 hours ago. So Jace did the same thing for me, and I really appreciated it. That I was like, all right, let's knock this thing out and get this thing fixed real quick.
Dude, that's really cool. And I know you probably don't want to divulge completely, but you're not talking about like tipping. You're talking about like pitch mix or just a strategy on how to
No,
get to you.
literally like a tip. They had a tip in Oakland
Yeah.
on me, and he's like, yeah, we just figured it out, and we hadn't played you. We faced you a couple times and had it, and then we're holding on to it, obviously, and now we're teammates. And he's like, hey, we got to get this fixed like right away. Pulled up the video. You could see it in my outing in Arizona. They didn't have it against me when I faced Arizona, but you could see on the video in my most recent outing, like, hey, this is what you have. So hopefully we got that fixed, and now we can go to work.
Dude, that is awesome. That is like the perfect
So
team to get traded to.
Thank you, Jace, to my new teammate Jace. I hadn't even met him, and he had already helped me out.
And also, like, for all of the worlds to collide that way, right? Because like Jace needs to end up there. Because I mean, I'm not even saying not everyone's going to share, but also not everyone obviously knew that or is picking up on that. So you've got an Oakland player coming to Arizona, an Arizona player, and then that all comes together. That's cool, dude.
Yeah, it was wild. It was like, all right, I'm glad he's on our team now.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hey, some fans were saying like, oh, he's in Arizona, which is awesome, and they liked your line, like, we're desert people, so you're in the same region, that you grew up in, and you're a big Vegas guy. And some people are like, oh, it's so damn hot though in Arizona, but I'm like, yo, they have a retractable roof. You're good. So you've been living the life. You go from Seattle to Arizona. You know how it was, even in New York. Not that it rains all the time there, but it is a pain in the ass because I've been most of my life in the New York, New Jersey area. The amount of times that and people make fun of me in like other places, like you're obsessed with weather. I'm like, I'm obsessed with weather because I never knew if we were playing the baseball game on time. To not have to deal with that, I've consistently said it is one of the most underrated parts of the sport because you're playing every day. The Brewers guys always talk about it. We never have to worry about if we're playing or not. I think it's huge. So now from your experience going to one spot to the other and being a part of New York in the past, how clutch and helpful is it?
No, people don't understand the stresses of like, okay, it's a getaway day and rain is coming in the forecast. Like, and you know 3 days ahead of time, like, okay, so Sunday we're gonna wait for 4 hours to try and play a game. It's like it's so frustrating, and so it's like I just want to know the game starts at 6:40. First pitch is gonna be at 6:40, no matter what. And in New York, you have the NL East, and it's Atlanta, it's Philly, it's DC, it's us. It was like it felt like once a series we had some sort of rain delay. There's a window. We're gonna try and figure it out. And you just get used to just sitting on your phone, playing cards, like watching movies on your iPad, just trying to pass time. And I go to Seattle, and it's like, no, we play only West Coast teams, and we play only in domes, and like every game is at 6:40, and you kind of get used to that, and then you get traded, and you're like, all right, well, we don't have to worry about that here in the NL West either. It's extremely nice, and now I take it for granted. So hopefully, I don't ever have to play anywhere that I have to worry about the weather every single game. But that's just part of going on the road. Then you check the weather. You're exactly right. People have told me this too, that like you're obsessed. It's like, well, am I going to play or am I not going to play? Like I'm outside. I need to know what is the weather today. Are we going to have a rain delay or are we going to play this game and get on the road type of thing? So thankful for an indoor stadium, especially in 115 heat right now. That's for sure.
Dude, I'm with you. I mean, like Adam and Lo, I don't think you guys were on for the show we had probably 2 weeks ago at this point with Mookie Betts. But I was like, all right, Mookie, you're commissioner for a day. What's the first thing you're doing? He goes, retractable roofs on all the stadiums. I was like, boom, there you go. I mean, he's in LA. He's got it good, right? Because they don't have to deal with much of a weather issue. But he was in Boston, and he was like, it's a pain in the ass. He's like, I'm trying to get ready to be the best in the sport.
That's a $200, $300 million pain in the ass, though.
It's not our money.
That it's the cities. The owner ain't paying it.
I know the owner ain't paying it, but he should.
It's the cities. Hey, beer sales is up during rain delays. I just sat in one the other night. I don't miss those at all. And it's true. You had the Midwest, Locaine, to where you see it coming.
Yeah.
Like, it's coming. That's just part of it. That's why we were talking about Ohtani. It's so enticing for him to stay west. You get to go to San Diego now. You get to go to LA now, San Francisco. You stay on the west. Colorado ain't bad, actually. It's actually not too bad. Ooh, you just moved into a good one.
That's what I'm saying.
But you got 3 teams with taxes.
3 teams with what?
Taxes. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, the no state income tax in Seattle with 100 games, the no state income tax is not too bad. You got Texas. So we go to Texas, we go to Houston, you get the Tampa one, you get maybe you get Florida. Like it was pretty nice. It was pretty nice.
Very nice.
We'll deal with it, but yeah, it's San Francisco, San Diego, LA. I was looking at the road trips like, oh man, that's gonna hurt.
That's a chunk coming out.
No, that's good because Paul, yesterday we talked a lot about like Scherzer and Verlander, and Adam's been on the last few days, and some people were like, it's a good point because it's like, yeah, Max and JV go from the Mets who decided not to contend to Houston and to Arlington. By the way, they're being paid very handsomely. Those tax checks change dramatically for them now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get into numbers. It astonishes people that are watching right now how much they're saving in taxes. Like years worth of salaries for most of the people watching just in saved taxes for the next 2 months. So I know those guys are going to be excited when they see their paychecks too.
Hell yeah. All right, so
I know their bank accounts are a lot bigger, but their paychecks are a lot bigger too. So they're going to be excited.
Hey, they're competitive guys. It still matters. It still counts. So what's the number one thing that you'll miss the most, not teammate or on the field wise, about Seattle or being there, or something that was part of your routine that you have to switch up now?
Man, I'm going to miss a lot of things. First and foremost, I'll miss my family. I had an aunt and uncle, and my grandparents lived there for the summer. So we're beyond thankful for everything they did for us the last 3 years, especially when we had our daughter trying to help us out. So family, obviously, number one. I think low key, the drive in through Lake Washington, and then you just drive up right into the stadium was just the most gorgeous drive of all time. Once the rain went away for the summer, and it's Mount Rainier, it's 75 degrees, Lake Washington, the drive in, he just puts you in a really good mood before you head to the field. I'm gonna miss that drive. It's not too bad. And I love the desert. I'm a desert guy, but there's nothing special about driving to Chase Field downtown. So That nice pleasant drive every day to and from the field was pretty nice.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, as a closer, I've seen this. I've seen the work that this lady does for relievers and for everybody. Junko. I don't know if you met her yet.
I have it.
Make sure you know her very, very well.
Okay.
She is the massage therapist, one of them, and she will
Game changer.
anything game changer. And
Okay.
again, I know how you walk out late with your water bottle and your glove. You know, you walk. You know what I mean? She will make sure that walk is comfortable. But actually, no, Arizona, you go through the backside. So yeah, but she'll make sure that walk is comfortable. She was a game changer for me while I was there. All the trainers are great, but she was able to work with me one-on-one. So
awesome.
She's a game changer.
Okay, taking notes. I'm gonna go see her. I'm gonna go see her first thing on Tuesday when we get back.
I've got one more for you, Paul, from the fans. And it's a great point. So Travis pointed this out. What's the deal with Paul's charity? How does that change with the trade? You know, we've talked about that and brought that up. So how does that work? You know, obviously with a charity, you just want to do the best you can on that front and help Seattle, and then you got the strikeouts tied to it. So what's the deal?
So we're still trying to figure the situation out, but what we'd like to do is just to continue giving money to KidVantage there in Seattle. With everything that Seattle gave me, I'm not trying to abandon anybody there. KidVantage has been great. They've been very supportive. Everyone in the Seattle communications area has been helpful, trying to market this to everybody. And I am so thankful for everybody who cheered on the Mariners. And hopefully they don't mind still participating in Sewald strikeouts for kids, even if I'm not striking people out for the Mariners. But Molly and I are still going to give $400 for every single strikeout we have the rest of the season to KidVantage and the kids up in Seattle. And if anybody has a problem with that, we can obviously talk about it, but we would like to just continue giving the money back to the Seattle community. We're so thankful for everything they gave us. And just because I moved teams this year doesn't mean I'm not thankful for everything they gave me. So we're still going to donate money to them, and hopefully everyone is still encouraged, even if I'm not playing for the Mariners, that if they participated in $1 per strikeout or whatever it's going to be, that they know that the greater good is for kids in their area. So Sewald strikeouts for kids is still going to go. Now I have to talk to Arizona fans and try and get them on board, even if it's going to kids in a different neighborhood.
No, I love that, dude. If anybody has an issue with that, please, they can see me, Locane, and AJ, okay? Like, there's no way someone would have a problem with that. Also, not that it really makes that much of a difference, but, like, you're not in the division. I don't even know. Do you guys even play each other the rest of the year, the Mariners and D-backs?
No, we literally faced them last weekend, so not going to face them this week. We can only help each other out in the wild card races at this point. So hopefully fans will be fine with me pitching for another team and still donating money. So the point is for the kids. So that was the whole point the whole time, and hopefully fans realize it.
100%. Fans, hey, some fans might miss the boat on trades and signings and things. This one, I think we can all root in the right direction for. So, Paul, that's awesome, man. Cool to get the update there. And hey, congrats on the trade. And appreciate good luck in this little race you got going on now in the National League wild card. And we'll catch you again in a few weeks.
Awesome. Love being on, guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate you too, Paul. Thank you. Paul Sewald of the Arizona Diamondbacks. You know, Paul's one of our regulars on the show here. He pops on and has been awesome to talk to. So I got to say, like I always say at the beginning and the end, like where they're coming from, and felt weird just now. I'm like, Paul Sewald of the Diamondbacks, but I like it.
Yes.
It's a great trade. Man. Dude, it was a great trade.
Great trade. I mean, Diamondbacks got a chance. I mean, and they haven't had a chance in a few years. So they shore up the bullpen. They got some good starters. Shore up the back in that bullpen.
2 years, 2 runs with Paul Sewald too. This is not a rental. They've got him. Yeah. He's got one more year of team control too. So props to them.